Never, ever ask questions that you can't handle the answer to. I mean, attorneys are taught never ask a question that you don't know what the answer is, right? So usually when someone's going through a breakup, mostly the question they want to ask is, are you seeing somebody else? Have you slept with somebody else, right? But if you don't know the answer to that question, don't ask it. Because ask yourself, what's the worst that they could answer? And if you can't handle what's the worst that they could answer, don't ask the question. I think, are we ever going to get back together is a valid question so that you can let go and move on with your life. But it is none of your business if they've slept with somebody else or not yet, or if they're seeing somebody else or not, because that's usually what keeps you stuck. So many clients that I talk to that are going through a breakup are just torturing themselves because they asked a question that now they can't handle the answer and they can't process the answer, and it's tormenting them. So before you ask a question that could potentially give you anxiety, the worst answer to, then don't ask it. I mean, assume the worst answer. I mean, let's face it, you ask those kind of questions because you want them to say, no, I'm not seeing anybody. I can't stop thinking about you. I love you, right? Like you ask because you want confirmation of what would make you feel good. But if there's any chance at all that what they say is going to make you feel worse, don't ask that question. Ignorance is bliss when it comes to breakups. It's none of your business what your ex is doing. And honestly, I promise you, it'll be so much easier to get through this if you don't know. If you're not talking to somebody, you can decide whatever it is that you want that they're doing. And it's like, that's my story, I'm sticking to it, right? If you're never going to talk to them again, then you can just decide, oh, she's going to pine for me for the rest of my life. And, she's going to miss me and she's going to regret this. Who cares if that's true or not? If that's what's going to make you feel better and get through this and move on to be happy again, then decide that. Do yourself a favor and do not ask questions that you really don't want the answer for. Think before you ask a question and ask yourself what's the worst answer you could get. And if that gives you anxiety or causes you stress and is making you freak out, absolutely do not ask that question. Ignorance is bliss on certain topics, and far too often people ask questions and then they can't handle the response that they got. So don't be your own worst enemy. Don't ask those questions.